What existed at the time when Jewish immigration started were YMCAs, Young Men's Christians Associations, which didn't permit Jews to become part of them, to enjoy recreational activities, educational activities, cultural activities, and the result is Jewish communities, starting on the East Coast and then, of course, going across the country, started Jewish community centers. It's said today that when Jewish community centers were started, they were intended to make Jews, new immigrants coming to America, more American. And today, if you were to tour our JCC and look at the massive array of programs and activities they have, today we make the statement, we're trying to make American Jews more Jewish. Because one of the challenges facing American Jews today, again, in every community, is the forces of assimilation are very, very powerful. Very powerful. And if you look from one generation to the next, the disconnection from our faith, the disconnection from community and involvement in community is one of the big challenges that we face today. What do we do with all these organizations? There's hundreds of them. And every day I read about yet another that's been formed. It's a challenge for the community, and that's why many, many years ago, way over 100 years ago, Jewish federations were created. And they were created to do two things. One is to try, as Ira said, to herd cats, to try to coordinate and provide some central planning for Jewish communities. And the second was to try to consolidate the raising of money to support all these different organizations and institutions. We basically have the same mission today. And our mission is to keep our community together. And despite many, many challenges, which I deal with day in and day out, we still are doing a pretty good job of that. Jewish federations are still the major philanthropic enterprise in the North American Jewish community, raising probably $2 billion, with a B, dollars a year that is spent to support institutions like the Jewish Community Center and many other institutions in the community, and to support Jewish communities around the world. Ira talked a little bit about our connection to Israel. Israel, of course, is central to our faith as Jews, and central to our identity as Jewish people. And I think the comment, the observation I want to make about the Jewish people. Many of our non-Jewish friends, their connection to the community, to the Jewish community, is most likely a narrow understanding of Jews as a faith represented by Judaism and what we do in our synagogues. And certainly our community is rooted in our synagogues, and how we pray, and how we observe our traditions, and the many life cycle events that are part of our tradition. But we extend beyond that, because part of our tradition also says that every Jew is responsible for every other Jew. And in fact, in the portion from the Torah we read just yesterday in synagogues around the world, there is reference to that tradition. So one of the responsibilities of the Jewish Federation is to ensure that every Jew in our community understands that we're responsible for Jews wherever they may live, in New York, in Los Angeles, in Buenos Aires, in Moscow, and certainly in Israel. In fact, our connection to Israel is not only part and parcel of our faith as Jews, but it's part of our responsibility as being a segment of the Jewish people. So I'm always delighted when two religious